Check, 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 check. Check, check. Check. All right, so. And this, I think, is just right. Stuff like this.
Oh my God, wait, this is.
No, okay. I didn't.
Is it bouncing again?
That's all good.
Low raise.
My dad says he's excellent. Okay.
I'm like.
Oh, same for.
Oh.
Nico City doesn't like writing.
They're two programs, two.
Yeah, but these are really.
I'd rather write the pen.
Snow. It's supposed to be anywhere but 10.
That's bad.
Okay, everyone, we're gonna return to our session. Everyone online hear us? If anyone still has any motions, we can entertain the motions. I believe we have Bethany, Diego, and Tommy. Just have one.
Hello, can we please strike capital contingency allocations?
Yes. Okay, we'll just skip it, no need.
Can I make a motion?
Yeah, go ahead, Tommy.
I motion to remove the UC policing presentation from the agenda.
We don't have to, we can just skip it.
Okay, amazing, thank you.
Okay, we'll get back to public comment. Do you have anyone that's here in person for public comments? Do we have anyone that's here online for public comment? Seeing none, we're gonna move into funding, starting with contingency with Bethany.
Hello, this week we had a total contingency programming request of $96,086.92, and we recommend an allocation of $43,147 for 3 USAC entities and 87 non-USAC entities. I also wanted to highlight a $700 allocation for our finance committee retreat, and I'm happy to answer any questions, and I've also pasted it in the chat.
Someone motion those, please.
I motion to approve a recommended allocation of $43,147 for the 3 USAC entities and 87 non-USAC entities.
I second. Jeremy, motion 70 seconds. All in favor, please raise your hands. Please lower your hands. All against, please raise your hands. And all abstaining, please raise your hands. With a 9-0 to 1 vote, that is approved. Next, we have ASRF and the AAC travel grants.
Thanks, Adam. For travel grant mini fund, we recommend an allocation of $2,906.78 to 7 non-USAC entities. For the academic success referendum fund, we recommend an allocation of $800 to 2 non-USAC entities. Thank you.
Thank you, Spino. Is there any opposition to any of those allocations? Seeing none, we're going to move on to TGIF. I believe that has a proxy.
Hi there, my name is Anna Maria. I'm Joy's proxy tonight. TGIF recommends an allocation of $16,877.72 to 4 USAC, non-USAC entities and 0 USAC entities.
Thank you. Eco Cookie, Growing Card, and Laundry Grants.
Yes, the laundry grant recommends an allocation of $115 to 23 individuals. And then, the brewing card, we recommend an allocation of $50 to 6 individuals.
Thank you, Nico. Is there any opposition to items of lower line?
Hi, currently it's not in the spring allocation. Yeah, is it on the winter perhaps?
It is.
Oh, no.
Can you put them on the screen?
Yeah, just do that and then.
Is there any opposition to the allocation? Seeing none, we're going to move into special presentations. We have the EAC presentation.
Yeah, so I'll preface, one second. I'll preface by saying, I think Joseph might be on Zoom, but I'll preface before we give them a chance to speak. I'll preface this by saying, so within the academic senate, I've created a policy, a policy where senators are required to conduct passion projects, all 20 plus of them. And the purpose behind this is so that we can make a more meaningful, tangible, if you will, impact on the student body. And so Joseph, wonderful, has been doing wonderful work. Throughout this quarter, you will be getting short presentations from the senators. So Joseph, if you are ready, the floor is yours.
Thank you. Could I share my screen? I have a little slide deck for y'all.
Justin, you should be
Okay, perfect. Do you see it okay? I can't hear you. I'll go as though you can see my slides. Okay, so hi, my name is Joseph. Nice to see you all again. So I sit on APRC, or Academic Program Review Committee. Spoiler alert, what they do is review programs, but also departments and freestanding minors. I won't bore you with lots of legalese because I do want to get dinner and I'm sure you want to end this meeting early. So a glance on what the committee has been up to. Besides lots of reviews, they've most recently did some restructuring, and they've doubled the size of the membership. So there'll be double the faculty, and it's mostly to share the burden of the reviews. So they've also finalized an internal report, and I've kind of mentioned this in the transparency reports that I've sent out to y'all. But there is basically, it was shared with admin and it highlighted some of the more overlapping areas that need growth across units being under review in campus by the more senior members of the committee. So usually how it works is there's like, at first the department reviews itself. They have a very comprehensive report that gets sent out to us. Then the committee does an external review by someone not UCLA affiliated, and then a member or two by the committee itself will do an internal review. And then the part where like student participation is like supposed to be is where we talk about what we're going to do based on all this knowledge that we've gotten. And it's, the recommendations of where the department should, work on some stuff, or we'd applaud them for their efforts in a particular area. But I do want to mention that a cycle is 8 years, and a student's term is 1. So keep that in mind for future slides. But I'll tell you what I look for in these reports that are usually 80, 90 pages long, is teaching quality, how students do after they graduate within a particular major, how they perceive the climate of their department, and how they think of like particular courses, etc. But it's really, it's unfortunately like our votes are not weighed the same as the faculty members, which is fine, but it kind of boils down to, I just have to like make a really strong argument and convince them why they should vote with me. But with that said, this is a long-winded process of building a perception of competence that me as the appointee, the liaison to you all, kind of know what I'm doing and not just out of it. So what I have focused on for the most part is self-supporting graduate programs. If you don't know what that is, it's like mostly master's programs for the most part that people have to pay for. And those okay, so like seriously, they're a money grab. They're a cash grab for departments that usually are not doing so well. But students end up being in debt for over $100,000 with not really a clear-cut career outcome or a job placement. The competencies tend to be all over the place. So from the perspective of a student that's applying to programs, obviously I'd be weary, but some programs, and I'm not saying this is true or not for UCLA particularly, but some programs do tend to be predatory and they advertise more heavily to undergraduates. So yeah, you'll be in all this debt with not really a job expectation, or you won't be ready for the job market. But speaking of readiness, a lot of our majors, and I think I've told this to most of y'all when I was applying for this appointment, is that yeah, the curriculum, the 4-year experience, or the 2 in my experience, does not prepare you for graduate school, unfortunately. And it's like the expectation for admission for those same departments are like way up. So and it, like undergrads are kind of like so that is, I would say that is definitely a trend that I've seen. But yeah, this work takes a long time. But things that you could do as students, I'd encourage you, if the department that you're in is under review, they will either during the first 2 years, they will have in their own report, they'll have a climate survey, or if directed by the committee. And that's like kind of, feedback from everybody. But if you're seeing a systemic issue, just as a student in your department, in your major, I think though it is kind of troublesome, but you should probably go through the process and the proper channels, and say there's like something that to be true for you and most other people. I talk to the chair. I'd write a nice polite email, just get it in writing. But you as USAC, if you're seeing stuff that's also across campus, I think a resolution would not be dismissed. So just something to think about, but mostly encourage your students to take those surveys, because that's the only thing that we really can do. But the premise of this, as Chris mentioned, is the passion projects, which I'll preface this by saying I would ask you all as a body collectively to not encourage the passion projects to be done through the official role of the student reps on their committees, or else we might jeopardize like our credibility and how we're perceived within those circles. Because at the end of the day, yeah, like there's people on my committee that have been there, I think, longer than I've been alive. So I can't be here and like, okay, in 3 quarters I'm gonna fix this department. So I think that just it hurts us a lot more, even though the intentions may be very well placed. But if you know me, my personalities, I'm kind of all or nothing. So amongst the many things I'm passionate about are definitely my research. I work in the School of Nursing and in the psychology department. And I get to do a lot of research that's near and dear to my heart. So I'm very proud of that. But in light of funding cuts that you're all, I'm sure, aware of, I would ask you to maybe consider doing a little bucket of money, as I've heard you've got plenty, for that would be dedicated to just fund direct research costs that are led by students. There's a lot of things that are not going to be research, I would say, for the next 4 years for sure, by PI, subsequently by students. So I think bigger picture here, it might be a really unique opportunity for you to create a chance for not just the students to be getting that professional development that would really help them in their careers later on. Just applying for a grant is huge, but Yeah, to fund like research in a lot of minoritized communities that is like going to be null. But the big things that I've worked on that I think, yeah, counts as my passion project. So I wrote a grant independently to the SSCCC, their UCSA's counterpart for the community college system. Essentially, they're funding myself and the support of staff that'll be mentoring 15 community college students through a research project. So that's coming along the works where the program will end mid-May 2026. So I'm very excited, but I won't bore you more. That's all I got. So if you don't have any questions, thank you for your time.
Any questions for Joseph? No?
I'm sorry?
We have questions.
Can you hear me? Please? Yeah. I didn't have so much as a question as a more so a comment. I wanted to say thank you for taking the time to make this presentation and share it with us. We couldn't see the slides, but I think the content of what you were saying was really engaging and very insightful. I think hopefully I'll be following up with you shortly regarding some of the ideas you mentioned as well. Hopefully you could hear me. But in case you couldn't, I'll message you on Slack.
Thank you. Sorry, you couldn't see my slides. That is crazy. I'm a grandma of technology, so bear with me.
Any other questions? I believe that's it from us, Joseph. Thank you for coming, thank you for presenting, and thank you for your work. We're gonna move on to appointments. We have two appointments today, both for election board positions. The first one is social media director. We have Judy Zhang. Just a reminder for all applicants on how appointments work. We're gonna start off with a 1-minute opening statement, followed by the 15-minute question and answer period, and then a 1-minute closing statement. After that, we're gonna hear our recommendations, have council member deliberations, and then we'll vote. I believe Judy is online. So, yeah, whenever you're ready, please go ahead and your 1-minute opening statement.
Hi, my name's Lily Zhang. My pronouns are she, her. I'm currently a senior majoring in psychobiology with a minor in global health, and I'm applying for the director of publicity position. I believe I'm a good fit for this position because I've experience in outreach and publicity. In high school, I started a fundraising focused nonprofit where I created infographics and promotional materials to spread awareness and engage donors. And through this, I have event planning experience as well as working on publicity efforts to maximize turnout. And then more recently, I was on the social media committee for the 2022 and the 2023 and the 2023 to 2024 USAC Office of the President, where I helped manage the social media platforms, including Instagram and TikTok. And this gave me experience interacting with the student body, including strategies that worked versus a couple that didn't as well.
Thank you. We're gonna move into the 15-minute question and answer period. Do any council members have any questions? Speedo.
Sure. Let's see. Okay, so my question for you is how can you design a social media strategy that promotes voter engagement and participation in the elections? As we've seen, turnout hasn't been really great. And so what are some of your strategies when it boils down to that?
I had an idea about maybe starting like a why I voted section because I think a lot of students don't care to engage or don't care to learn more and vote because they don't really realize the impact it can have, and they don't really know what USAC's role is at the school and in their life and maybe in their clubs and their academics. So I think it'd be really cool if we could take like students that have been directly affected by USAC initiatives and then start having them speak on it, like create short little videos and reels and stories that we could post. And then as well as creating videos and reels to break down election details, and just kind of teaching students how to vote in a simple way.
Any other questions? Kiara?
Hi there, thank you for being here tonight. Yeah, going off of what you said before, I was just curious, are there any areas of growth that you would like to focus on for, like, going off what Chris had said, but also any other areas of growth that you would hope to work on in particular for this election cycle and see accomplished in your work?
Yeah, I think something I really wanted to focus on was making sure election information reaches like underrepresented communities at the school. So I really want to focus engaging with maybe cultural orgs and then making content accessible to them and then just making it a very like inclusive election, I was hoping. And then my main focus would be to hopefully increase a lot of voter engagement and voter turnout.
Hey, thanks for being here. Do you could tell us about one or two ways that you could increase voter turnout from students who currently just have absolutely no connection to USAC, so not following the board page, they know nothing about USAC. What are one or two ways that you could try to reach out to students who just currently have no knowledge about it?
I'm so sorry. I couldn't really hear most of your question.
Yeah, it's all good. So I would say that there's a lot of students right now, probably even a majority of students who just have absolutely no knowledge of USAC, no affiliation with USAC. They wouldn't follow like the board page, for example, on Instagram, so they wouldn't see posts that are coming from that. So do you have any strategies in terms of reaching out to those students that currently there's just no streams of communication to be able to reach them?
Yeah, I think a good strategy would be doing a lot of club partnerships that maybe we haven't done before in the past because I feel like USAC is very like it's very within USAC. So I was hoping like reaching out through a lot of like different healthcare clubs I know have a huge role on this campus, and then a lot of other like business ones and kind of target career ones. I think a lot of those students that are away from what usually would feed into USAC, like healthcare, arts, and different career paths that may not be like law or policy or anything like that, would be a great way to engage a student part of the student body demographic that I don't think naturally would gravitate towards voting and engaging with USAC. Um, and then another would be maybe just placing ourselves on a very center part of campus and having infographics or like engaging tables and booths that people can come up to that would entice people to come up to where we can talk to them about the election.
Yeah, I think those are great ideas. Thank you.
Any other questions? Abby?
Hi, thank you for coming out today. Yeah, kind of expanding on the last few sets of questions. I think especially a big concern is with how restrictive election board policies are in regards to campaigning in locations like the Hill, for example, which has a huge concentration of the student body, especially like undergraduates who are going to continue to be here in UCLA over the next couple of years. Just kind of want to ask, in what ways, either in your potential role as a social media chair for the elections board, or, like working with the board as a whole, how will you sort of ensure that, especially like advertising and outreach is being prioritized there in ways that candidates unfortunately cannot?
Sorry, do you mind repeating the last part of your question?
Yeah, so essentially the question was that given how elections board code restricts candidates, or like basically prohibits candidates from campaigning on areas like the Hill, how will you ensure that the elections board, either in your capacity as the potential social media chair, or, in collaboration with the rest of the board, how are y'all ensure that like more outreach is being done and, prioritized, like in those areas where candidates are unable to, really encourage outreach and voter participation?
Yeah, I think that's the great thing about social media and my position specifically is there is no location and it's super remote. So I think the main way that I would want to do is maybe do like a multi-platform approach. I know not everyone's super like on Instagram or on TikTok. So maybe even potentially going on Reddit or just other platforms or like email blasts, just a way to try to reach the most amount of students. So in a way that you don't physically have to be present there.
Thank you. Any other questions? Seeing none, Ludi, whenever you're ready, please go ahead with your 1 minute statement.
Thank you so much for having me today. I wanted to emphasize that I understand that many students feel super disconnected from student government, whether that's due to a lack of information, uncertainty about how voting impacts them, or feeling their voices just don't matter. That's exactly why I think strong publicity efforts are so important. If I'm elected, I'll work to minimize the barriers to participation, make election resources as clear and engaging as possible, and ensure that every student knows how to get involved. And I'm super excited about the possibility of taking on this role, and I appreciate the opportunity to share my vision with you today. And thank you so much for everyone's time and consideration.
Thank you. Can we get some ARC's recommendations, please?
Lily had a very impressive interview with ARC, having worked as a social media director in the office of the president years prior. Our has no doubt that Lily has a USAC knowledge and social media experience to serve as the director of publicity for the elections board. I was excited to see some of Lily's ideas throughout USAC elections, including in-person tabling and using different social media tools such as videos to better inform the student body about elections. ARC recommends Lily for this appointment with a 3-0 vote.
Thanks, Josh. Any comments or concerns? Seeing none, can we get a motion, please? What up?
I move to appoint Lily Zhang to Elections Board Social Media Director.
Second.
What a motion, happy seconds, all in favor, please raise your hands. Please lower your hands. All against, please raise your hands. The all abstaining, please raise your hands. Then 11-0 to 1 vote. The B is approved. Thank you. We're gonna move on to our final appointment. We have the election board director of endorsements. We have Michelle, I believe is here in person. Yes. You might want to lower the microphone a bit. Whenever you're ready, please go ahead and open up the statement.
Hello, my name is Michelle Golden. My pronouns are she, her. I'm a second year comparative literature student. And I'm interested in applying to this position because obviously I go here. I think it's important for me to help out, have a hand in how this university is going to contribute back to it. And obviously the elections are of USAC are a really important way of contributing back to the UCLA. And the reason why I think I would be a good fit for this position is because one, I'm very organized in election and applying for the director of endorsements. Obviously, there's a lot to keep track of in this position, such as who's organizing the official endorsement hearing and so on. And so that's a really important quality. And another reason why I would be a good fit is because I'm really hardworking. I know there's a lot to do, and so I think that's a good quality.
Thank you. We're gonna move into the 15-minute question and answer period. Do any council members have any questions? Javier or Vice Pino?
Hi, yeah, just a quick question. You said that you're second year. Kind of want to ask, based on last year's elections, if you were more involved with that, what are some ways in which you would want to improve upon the endorsement hearing process, or expand on the role, expand on it if appointed to this role?
I wasn't personally involved in the endorsement hearing process last year, but I suppose.
Yeah, essentially just how would you, or like, what vision do you have for, either improving the process or like adding on to it? In what ways would you essentially in this role want to help support candidates?
Yes, I wasn't involved in the endorsement process last year, but in all the clubs that I was in last year, I did not hear anything about endorsements. And so I think that something really important to do this year would be to try and get clubs to be more involved in the endorsement process. Because everyone should be more involved in the student body, right? And so I think that really emphasizing outreach to clubs, telling them about the endorsement process, making it really clear like how to endorse candidates and why you should would be really beneficial.
Hi, thank you for being here. I have a two-part question. The first part of my question is, what is your understanding of the UCLA student government elections rules, particularly when it goes down to endorsements? And My follow-up is, what do you believe is the most important aspect of the endorsement process we have currently in place here?
All right, so my understanding of the rules in regards to endorsements, there are a few things that need to happen for the endorsement process. For example, there is an endorsement hearing, and my understanding is that the director of endorsements is the one who organizes this. And before the hearing, questions are submitted, and I should review those questions, make sure those are appropriate, as well as making sure that the endorsement process is being done by the correct people. They're like the official representatives of the student organizations are the ones who are supposed to be submitting the endorsement slips and so on. And so that's my understanding of the process. And then, sorry, what was your follow-up question?
Sure. Let me just make sure I turn this off. My following question is, what do you think is the most important aspect of the endorsement process we currently have in place here?
I think that the most important aspect of the endorsement process that's in place is the endorsement hearing, because this puts everyone at like the same level in endorsing. And because of this, everyone gets to see how the process is played out, and it's like transparent and everyone can see what's going on.
Yeah.
Hi there, thank you for coming tonight. Kind of going off what others had asked, and I know you talked a little bit about the importance of working with clubs and, you know, how you didn't hear about the elections or endorsements in the past and really engaging with those groups more. Could you expand upon any other goals that you would have in this position to contribute to the election board cycle through endorsements and ensure that it is both efficient and effective, and yeah, any goals that you have and how you would go about achieving those?
One of my goals is about making the endorsement process more clear and easy to understand. I think that it looks a little difficult when you're approaching it from the outside about exactly what deadlines are, what exactly do I have to do? Did I finish everything that I need to do? Am I missing something? And so I think that maybe like sending out emails, written in really clear language and acceptable language would really help everyone in that regard.
Any other questions? Seeing none, whenever you're ready, please go ahead with your 1 minute closing statement.
All right, so first of all, thank you for taking the time to hear what I have to say. And I just want to conclude by saying that I think that the elections obviously are a really important part of the school. And so it's really important to manage everything in regards to the elections, such as endorsements. And I think that because I recognize how important this is, I would be really, really hardworking if I were to be accepted for this role, and I think I could take that on.
Thank you. Can we get our recommendations, please?
Michelle had an excellent interview with ARC. ARC enjoyed hearing some of Michelle's visions for the position, including outlining exact rules and logistics for endorsements in order to be more transparent and equitable to student organizations. ARC appreciated Michelle's commitment to communicating with student groups as she plans on reaching out to boards throughout the endorsement process to remind them of deadlines. With a 3-0 vote, ARC recommends Michelle for this appointment.
Thank you. Do any council members have any comments or concerns? If not, can we get a motion, please? Thank you.
Motion to appoint Michelle Colvin as election board's director of endorsements.
Second that motion. Have you motion, this be no seconds. All in favor, please raise your hands. Please lower your hands. All against, please raise your hands. And all abstaining, please raise your hands. With a 12-0 votes. Therefore, being approved. Thank you, Michelle.
Yeah.
We're gonna jump into officer reports. Mine will be written. Josh.
I will be reaching as well.
Abby.
I will not be ready to surprise. All right, hi everyone. Yeah, just to start, spring break was hardly a break. We went to DC for the USSA, United States Students Association Legislative Conference, the first one, the first meeting of the association in many, many years, where we were able to re-adopt the USSA charter with over 20 different member colleges and universities, and also meet with, our state senators, Buddy and Shin, and also representatives such as Ted Lieu, on a variety of different student issues, including the current threats to the Department of Education and also, financial aid funding. A more detailed recap is going to be coming next week for USAC's meeting, just for transparency. But it was a great time, very beautiful, cherry blossoms event. Tomorrow, I am going to be on a morning flight to SAC with 7 other UCLA students for UCSA Latina Advocacy Day. We're meeting with 6 different offices currently of various assembly members, state senators on a variety of Latina student issues, from financial aid, data privacy, as well as, protecting our undocumented international student communities. And then during that same trip, I'm also going to be meeting with UC Office of the President, specifically UC President Michael Drake, to help tackle issues related on DEI programs, UC funding concerns, diversity statements in the hiring freeze, and so much more. And then I'm also working very closely with the African Black Coalition and the African Student Union here at UCLA to finalize preparations for Black Student Advocacy Day, which is going to be happening early next week, week 2. And we confirmed our delegation recently, and we're currently working with ABC for accommodation. And we're also trying to send a delegation of students up for April 22nd during week 4 for the mass mobilization for the passage of Assembly Bill 7. This is a bill being championed right now by Assemblymember Isaac Bryan that would essentially allow the various college systems here in California to consider providing a preference in admission to applicants who are descendants of slavery. So we are closely following that with the African Black Coalition and are trying to work with the ASU to send a delegation up funding that allows it. And then we're also continuing our options work with working with the Middle Eastern Student Association, other SWANA orgs, to host a SWANA Student Lobby Day later this month. So an all delegate orientation was held right before this USAC meeting, so it's already going great. And then we also got to, set up a meeting with PUSO, West LA, the Filipino US Solidarity Network, to help support their organization in federal level advocacy in regards to the passage of the Philippine Human Rights Act. And then heads of staff are still working with our student region designated Sonia Brooks on the implementation of Burn Fresh, the grocery sector program for undocumented students that was passed last quarter, thanks to USAC support. And we're also working closely with UC Davis students on more insight for the pilot program implementation, continuing strategic targeting of the various regions following our March regions meeting, and also recommending a meeting with Financial Support Commissioner Nico to explore means of implementing the pilot program here at UCLA. And then, kind of wrapping up and everything, lots of UCSA stuff. Gonna just skim over that. And then UC Hill Day preparation. So DC later this month again. And then attended the opening ceremony for the UCLA Latina Success Center with Gen Rep 1, 2, and TSR. We're working to establish a better connection with the student and staff hands of the center through our access to retention teams to better support the new and thriving center. And then last but not least, just followed up with Daily Board in regards to the past Campbell Hall renaming resolution from winter quarter, and we're helping check in with the ASU board on their progress in their work with AEP and the honorary naming committee. That's it for me.
There you go.
Everything's going to be written, but yesterday was, like Javi mentioned, a wonderful day because we got to go to the Latinx Success Center opening. So shout out to everyone that went. And I hope everyone can check it out in the future.
Everything will be written today. Thank you.
I have a couple of quick highlights. So firstly, we met with Marvin from Financial Aid Scholarships. One big thing that we found out is that right now only 35% or roughly 35% of UCLA students submit the general application for the scholarship portals. That's just like a basic scholarship application. And then only 15% of students actually finish it. So it's about 1 in 6 students actually finish it. So yeah, it's definitely a big thing we want to address. We're gonna do them later this week and talk about publicity and transparency initiatives we're gonna work on. And I'll definitely reach out to you guys and be happy to support on that once we do start that. We're also gonna be doing the over t-shirt publicity drive later in the quarter. And we're seeking volunteers for that. And also collaborating with IVP on the LA Dodgers event, which will be on April 16th. So make sure to send out information to anyone you know, so that students can attend that. And, I'm giving everything else for today.
Spino?
My only update that I should say aloud is, yeah, so as I mentioned, I'll just reiterate, AAC will continue to bring senators, throughout the quarter so that y'all can hear about their passion projects and then their work as well. And an overwhelming majority of the senators, have been in favor of the passion project, so we have determined that we're gonna work together on ensuring that it's a requirement, for senators to do. And then the rest will be written.
Thank you, Robbie.
You could refer to my written report today.
Karen?
I'm gonna keep going. Sorry. Oh, hi, okay. I'm gonna keep most of it written, but a couple things I want to highlight. We have a leadership and service scholarship that is up now. Details are on the CSB Instagram and on our link tree. Applications are due in a couple weeks, but if you're a student next year for the 2025-26 school year and you are involved in any type of community service, please apply. Look at outreach for that. And then also wanted to highlight that our advocacy branch is putting on an education equity-based conference in early May. So if you have any ideas of any organizations that want to partner, or like if you would want to, please reach out, let me know. We're working on that now.
All right.
Hey, they're gonna keep it quick. But the UPass renewal referendum language passed for the upcoming spring ballots. Our Transit Equity and Access T Committee is campaigning to pass the referendum later this quarter. Bruin Access Funding Resolution with IVP, SWC, and DSU also passed. So we're going to be meeting with student regents, administrators, and other external groups to discuss next steps and other funding sources. And we're also sending out a survey this week with DSU to send to students to collect feedback on CAE issues. And the rest will be written.
Hi, everyone. USA/BOD funding body applications are due Thursday at 5 p.m. This is the last BOD funding round, so make sure if you haven't known any clubs that are applying, they get their applications in Thursday at 5 p.m. And then also, if you know any commuter students who paid for a parking permit, the commuter parking permit scholarship applications are now live and they're due Friday of week 2. This is a collaboration between myself, Mona of TSR, Yara of SWC, and Joy of FAC. So we look forward to seeing everyone's applications and hopefully funding as many people as possible. And then the rest will be written. Thank you. Yara.
Hi everyone, a few updates. Like Nico said, excited about the Bruin Commuter Scholarship. Working on that, and then continuing to meet with BAC, IVP, and the Disabled Student Union on Bruin Access CAE, the resolution that we had brought forward and we collectively passed last quarter. And then wanted to highlight also our Bruin Necessities Basic Needs gift card program is also open for this quarter. So I put it there. So that is currently open. And then few upcoming events. So our peer support lounge is again open for this quarter, stocked with N95 masks, snacks, Narcan fentanyl test strips. You've got more sort of allergy medicine, that kind of stuff in there now too, which is awesome. Pregnancy tests, so various things in there, but they're having an event this Friday. It's a matcha day, so there's a little RSVP, so feel free to come by. We've got clear away. And then our Bruin Run Walk Committee is having their 5K this weekend on Sunday. So registration is still open. It's only $5 today. So they have a special student sale today. I put the link right there, but it's all going to the Painted Turtle Foundation, supporting children with chronic illnesses. So a very exciting event they're having on Sunday. So please come. And then just want to share about Bruin Health Week. So that will be week 3 of spring quarter. So that's our annual week-long event with full of events by different committees, our partner, different health organizations on campus. So those will be throughout the week. And then that Friday to promote physical health and student well-being, we're having an SWP field day. So we'll have a few things there, including a capture the flag tournament. So there's a sign up, swimming group. Please do, it'll be fun. And then just putting some upcoming, and then I just put some upcoming collaborations that we're working on and events as well in there. But those are updates for me.
What up?
My updates will be written this week. Thank you.
I mean,
My updates should also be written this week. Thank you.
Orlando.
Hello, everyone. Can you hear me okay? Hello?
Yes, we can hear you.
Oh, perfect. This is just a reminder that this week we opened up a new registration for new organization. This is a good, if you're thinking, or if you know someone that wants to start a group, and they'll be coming back next year. This is a great opportunity to register now and be ready for the next year for things like enormous activities fair, early funding, and things of that sort. If you wait till fall quarter, you'll miss out on all those early kind of recruitment and funding opportunities. So it's always a good idea to register this quarter. And then next week will be our one-stop workshops where we'll be hosting you org workshops, funding, etc. And more information. I'll bring more information next Tuesday on that. And that's all I have.
Yes, no. Sorry.
I got nada.
Here.
I'm good, y'all.
Jonathan. Hey, hello. Just a couple things from me. Lorelai signed up yesterday. One-on-one signups. You all have to do one more one-on-one with us before you go. So please schedule your one-on-one this week. Please schedule this week. Doesn't have to be for this week, but please schedule it this week. If your office has a funding body, please coordinate with your funding chairs to make sure they're prepared for winter close. Rec deadline is Friday for all winter activities. All winter activities. We're gonna share tomorrow with you all an advisor feedback form so that we can better understand how we can support you and see how this year went and what we can do better for the next folks. And then later this week, due towards the end of this month, the 25th-ish, transition docs. It's that time of the year, folks. You're all required to submit a transition document. All of you, no exceptions. According to your bylaws, we can withhold one of your stipends. 100% will not receive your USAC report if you do not turn in your transition document. OSAC people, please respond to Emily. Please. I will ask every week until you respond to Emily. And then if any of your offices are actually just for now by a raise of hands, is anyone's office planning to do anything for Bruin Day or transfer Bruin Day? All right, figured you, yeah. Okay, I see some maybes. Well, I'll probably drop some more in Slack maybe later this week, but just wanted to kind of generally coordinate any Bruin Day activities that we have for all student government. So, yeah, have a good week. Thank you. We're gonna move on to, or before actually, Nico, can we do your stuff?
Yeah. Let me get the numbers back up. I'm sorry. That would caught me off guard on that. Okay. So for laundry, we're gonna spend $150 to 23 individuals, and then for room card, it's $50 to 6 individuals. I'm so sorry, I used the wrong spreadsheet. But I'm sorry.
Any objections? Perfect. I just remembered, when are we gonna hear back about rollover surplus? I agreed to it a month ago.
I know. Working on it right now. Hopefully by the end of the year.
I agree. Totally.
I mean, I don't have that in front of me, so I don't want to be.
You haven't been hungry. I was just asking for the stream. I was just asking when rollover was gonna happen, and I was told soon.
Yeah, so hopefully, we're working on it this week, hopefully end of the week, early next week. I don't know if we'll get it in time to make it on your agenda next week, but we're gonna do our best.
Perfect. Yeah, right to the final changes. Nothing changed in terms of the language, but I know there's problems for you fine. So does anyone have anything to say about mine before we vote?
Sorry for the stream, can you just like re-summarize what the bylaw changes are, please?
Yeah, so my bylaw change. Main sponsor of the resolution have to provide 2 updates to USAC about the progress of the resolution, any action taken, any information, or any challenges they faced. Once during the second or third meeting, post passing, once during the 6th or 7th meeting, post passing. We're gonna have a special agenda item for these. They don't necessarily have to be like full-fledged presentations, they can just be like you talking about any updates. So like no slides required, nothing required, it's just verbally. You can be exempted from these for basically any reason as council deems appropriate with a vote. Yeah, that's about it. Any questions before we vote? I motion to approve the Article 6 bylaw change.
Second.
Other motions, have seconds, all in favor, please raise your hands. Please lower your hands. All against, please raise your hands. And all abstaining, please raise your hands. With a 13-0 vote, that is approved. And lastly, we have Josh. It's fine, I can survive. We're just adding 2 appointments to the bylaws. Does anyone have any questions? Seeing none, I motion to approve the Article 2 bylaw change.
Second.
Other motions, Kara seconds, all in favor, please raise your hands. Please lower your hands, all against, please raise your hands. And all abstaining, please raise your hands. With a 13-0 vote, that is approved. With that, I adjourn this meeting at 8:09 PM.
Don't forget to sign the attendance sheet before you leave. It's going on.
I know, guys.